We go on with our lives, working, planning, and celebrating, but we never think about when and how all of this came about. The day we're living today had its origin many millions of years ago, when God caused the Big Bang, bringing into existence time, space, and matter, thus setting into motion all the conditions that would create our universe, including the laws and fine-tuning of the physical constants that would allow for the production of all the atoms and molecules that are the building blocks for all the living and non-living components of our world. After several million years, the stage is set. The Earth is prepared to receive life. The right distance from the sun, the right atmosphere, the right temperature, and the right chemical environment. Life came into existence with design and order. Within each cell of each living organism is the code for the construction of proteins that are the building blocks for all the systems that will allow every life to function and to live in the world. It is the information that dictates when certain structures are to be constructed. This information has to be read and interpreted. The DNA code has the instructions on how living organisms are to take the elements from the environment that will allow them to grow and function. Encoded in their DNA are all the instructions of how to migrate, build spider webs, nests, and reproduce. The genetic code contains information that specifies when and how to build the different systems that will keep an organism alive. The information dictates where the nervous, circulatory, muscular, and skeletal systems should be placed and how amazingly coordinated they will interact. They have the instructions for constructing an eye and integrating it with the nervous system and the brain to create sight. So, in addition to the amazing process of DNA reading and translation for protein production, are the instructions for placing those proteins in the right spot to construct whole systems. Therefore, DNA is coded information that is more complex than a computer code. All information requires a mind to generate it, especially if it is information that requires it to be read and translated. All organisms living today are the product of translated information. Therefore, our planet is full of expressed information. With all its complexity, order, and design, the biological world points to the Creator. Revisiting William Paley's idea that if you find a watch, then there must be a watchmaker. It is logical to think that a watch had to be planned and constructed, particularly if we consider that an average mechanical watch may contain up to 130 tiny, precisely crafted parts that work together seamlessly to tell time. Yes, tell time. In addition to the mechanical complexity that the watch has, it also conveys information. The watch would be of no use if there weren't a mind to interpret the information about the time that is displayed on the watch's face. Therefore, it takes a mind to design and build such an intricate timepiece, and a mind to interpret the information the watch is conveying. Much the same way DNA functions. It contains a code that requires interpretation. DNA is of no use if it's not interpreted. DNA has a purpose and requires all of the engineering in a cell to fulfill its purpose. However, the complexity of a watch bears no comparison to the complexity of a human cell. In every cell of our body, molecular complexity repeats itself over and over again, with thousands of processes taking place in all the organs and systems at the same time, keeping the organism healthy and working properly. In addition to the biological marvel we are as humans, God created us in His image and likeness. So therefore, we are endowed with spiritual attributes that give us the ability to create. We create music and art. We have consciousness and wisdom. This spiritual element gives humans a high degree of sacredness and dignity. Our natural world is full of beauty. As Saint Bonaventure explained, things are beautiful because they have proportion. Proportions that are expressed by numbers. They portray the laws of mathematics, which makes them beautiful. These numerical proportions that are present in nature reside firstly in the mind of the Creator. Therefore, through the proportions that we find in nature around us, we can find our way to God, the source of these numerical proportions. Saint Bonaventure asks us to have a humble and open heart, to see all this in the world that surrounds us. As he wrote, "Therefore, any person who is not illuminated by such great splendors in created things is blind. Anyone who is not awakened by such great outcries is deaf. Anyone who is not led from all these effects to give praise to God is mute. Anyone who does not notice the first principle from such conspicuous signs is a fool. Therefore, open your eyes, alert your spiritual ears, unlock your lips, and apply your heart, so that in all creation you may see, hear, praise, love, and adore. Extol and honor your God, lest the entire world rise up against you." Science is confirming what sacred scripture has conveyed for thousands of years, that God created the universe, that he set all things in motion and intervenes continuously in his creation. And since God is love, it would naturally follow that his creation is imbued with his love. The information contained in DNA, how it's expressed and turns into all the living organisms that surround us, makes us conclude that we live in a world where God's love is dancing around us. A world filled with purpose, meaning, and hope. A world where every person is awesome and every living thing is phenomenal.